This past Sunday, we talked about the first and second son. The first and second son. The first one changed his ways and did something good. The second one was like the priest who were just being mean and not changing their ways. Jesus told a parable that talked about how people change their ways. Sometimes people are labeled as bad and then begin to do the right things. Let's go hang out with Mr. Bruce and come back for a story to help us make a connection.
Hey everybody, got a new song for you. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The last line of the text is, "And the walls came tumbling down," which closely parallels our second reading for this week about tearing down fences, tearing down boundaries. So, I'm going to teach it to you. Here's a note. The first part, we're going to go, Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Sing that for me. 1, 2, ready, sing. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Then we're going to sing Jericho 2 more times. So you have 3 of them all together. Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. And the last Jericho, I like to go Jericho. You can go down. Let's do all that together. Joshua fit the battle. 1, 2, ready, go. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. And then you sing the first part again. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Here it is, 2, 3. And the walls come tumbling down. And that's the whole thing. Do it all together. 1, 2, ready, go. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. All right, here we go. 2, 3, and Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down. The walls come tumbling down.
Welcome back. Thanks, Mr. Bruce. All right, today we are going to be reading the story, The Other Side. The Other Side is kind of a hard story to understand. So if you don't understand and you want to pause it and ask some questions to your mom and dad, that is completely fine. It's also kind of a long story, so we're going to just do our best. If you need to pause and walk away, I understand. That summer, the fence that stretched through our town seemed bigger. We lived in a yellow house on one side of it. White people lived on the other, and Mama said, "Don't climb over that fence when you play." She said it wasn't safe. That summer, there was a girl who wore a pink sweater. Each morning, she climbed up on the fence and stared over at our side. Sometimes I stared back. She never sat on the fence with anybody. That girl didn't. Once we were jumping rope, she asked if she could play, and my friend Sandra said no, without even asking the rest of us. I don't know what I would have said. Maybe yes, maybe no. That summer, everyone and everything on the other side of the fence seemed far away. When I asked my mama why, she said, "Because that's the way things have always been." Sometimes when me and Mama went into town, I saw that girl with her mama. She looked sad sometimes, that girl did. "Don't stare," my mama said. "It's not polite." It rained a lot that summer. On rainy days, that girl sat on the fence in a raincoat. She let herself get all wet and acted like she didn't even care. Sometimes I saw her dancing around in puddles, splashing and laughing. Mama wouldn't let me go out in the rain. That's why I bought you rainy day toys, my mama said. You stay inside here where it's warm and safe and dry. But every time it rained, I looked for the girl, and I always found her somewhere near the fence. Someplace in the middle of the summer, the rain stopped. When I walked outside, the grass was damp and the sun was already high in the sky, and I stood there with my hands up in the air. I felt brave that day. I felt free. I got close to the fence, and that girl asked me my name. Clover, I said. My name's Annie, she said. Annie Paul. I live over yonder, she said. By where you see the laundry, that's my blouse hanging on the line. She smiled then. She had a pretty smile. And then I smiled, and we stood there looking at each other, smiling. It's nice up on the fence, Annie said. You can see all over. I ran my hand along the fence. I reached up and touched the top of it. A fence like this is made for sitting on, Annie said. She looked at me sideways. My mama said I shouldn't go on the other side. I said, my mama said the same thing, but she never said nothing about sitting on it. Neither did mine. That summer, me and Annie sat together on the fence, and when Sandra and them looked at me funny, I just made believe I didn't care. Some mornings my mama watched us. I waited for her to yell to tell me to get down from the fence before I break my neck or something, but she never did. I see you made a new friend, she said one morning, and I nodded, and my mama smiled. That summer, me and Annie sat on that fence and watched the whole world around us. One day, Sandra and them were jumping rope near the fence, and we asked if we could play. I don't care, Sandra said. And we jumped. Sandra and me were partners the way we used to be. When we were too tired to jump anymore, we sat up on the fence, all of us, in a long line. Someday, somebody's gonna come along and knock this old fence down, Annie said. And I nodded. Yeah, I said, someday. Someday. There's a lot of things about this book that could be the things that change. The first brother, the actions speaking louder than words. There are the things that Sandra said, like, no, we're not playing together. But then she changed her mind. But also that we need to change things in our world. We have lots of people who are not treated fairly. There's a lot of injustice going on in our world. And right now, for those people who are not treated fairly, they probably think that a lot of people are like Brother 2, who say they're going to do a lot of things, but then don't. I know it's a hard subject to talk about, but if you can, talk with your moms and dads about how we can do better to change things in our society so that everybody is treated fairly and we knock those fences down. I hope you guys have a great week. Keep making connections and try to knock down some fences. Bye. I love you.